The thing behind the door is trying to turn the handle. I press my back against the hallway wall, breath rattling, the fluorescent lights above me flickering in a sick, off-rhythm pulse. It's 3:33 a.m., the exact time the instructions said I must never be on the second floor. But I'm here, trapped. And the door to room 237 is slowly, deliberately unlocking. I yank the folded sheet of rules from my pocket with shaking hands. The paper is damp with sweat. The words swim. I force myself to focus because if I choose wrong right now, I'm dead. Rule 2, do not speak to anyone you hear inside room 237. They are not alive. Rule 4, if the handle begins to turn, leave the hallway immediately. Rule 5, never run. It hears running. The handle gives a long metallic click. I freeze. I'm already breaking Rule 4. There's nowhere to go. The stairwell behind me has slammed shut on its own. The lights keep dimming like the building is breathing. And the smell. God. Something like wet concrete and rot-soaked fabric leaks from the doorframe. Another click. Another slow turn. A voice drifts through the cracked calm, polite, wrong. Please, can you help me? I think I'm lost. My pulse jumps. I almost answer, almost break. Rule 2. Instead, I drag my feet sideways, not running, just inching away. The carpet beneath me is cold, too cold, like something is absorbing heat. The voice speaks again, closer to the door now. I know you're there. I stare at the final line on the paper, the smeared section where Rule 6 used to be. It's darkened, like something burned the ink from the page. The handle stops turning. Silence. No, not silence. A faint scratching, like fingernails tracing the inside of the door. Slow. Curious. Then the door begins to open. My breath stutters. I grip the handheld radio at my belt, thumb hovering over the button, knowing it won't help. Nothing on the other end will hear me. Nothing here is the way it's supposed to be. The door opens only an inch. A sliver of blackness presses outward, not darkness, but a shape of darkness, like something blocking the light inside. Something tall, something leaning down to the crack. A whisper slips out through it. You broke a rule. The temperature drops. My vision blurs. I stagger backward, not running, not quite, and slam blindly into the housekeeping cart left abandoned at the corner. It topples, crashing loud enough to echo down the entire hallway. The voice inside room 237 inhales sharply. Footsteps, not human ones, too many joints, too soft, coming fast. I have seconds. I shove myself toward the elevator, idiotic, but it's the only direction left. The button glows red when I slap it, and the doors glide open impossibly quickly, like something wants me inside. I jump in. The door snaps shut just as something heavy hits them from the other side. The elevator drops, hard. My ears ring, my stomach lurches. On the floor, the paper with the rules flutters open beside me. For the first time, I see something faint beneath the burned smear of Rule 6, just one word, barely visible. Don't! The elevator lights flicker out. Darkness swallows me. The elevator lights snap back on with a hard white glare, too bright, buzzing, almost sizzling. The car isn't moving anymore. The panel reads 2, even though I know I felt it drop farther than that. My knees are shaking, my palms sting from gripping the metal rail too tightly. A faint echo lingers in my head. Don't what? The elevator doors stay closed. My reflection in the brushed steel walls looks pale, stretched, unreal. For a moment, just a moment, its mouth moves before mine does. I blink hard. Hallucination, stress. That's what I tell myself anyway. The intercom crackles overhead, static. Then a voice thin, whispering, like someone speaking through a mouthful of dust. You shouldn't be here! I jolt. Who is this? My voice cracks. The static hisses like someone exhaling directly into my ear. Wrong floor! Wrong time, wrong choice. My stomach tightens. I press every button on the panel. Lobby, 3, 4, 5. Nothing responds. The doors finally slide open with a slow groan. The hallway outside is different. Longer. Too long. Lights dimmer than they should be, humming like they're struggling to stay alive. I step out cautiously. A flicker of memory slams into me. Less than 100 words of a past life. The reason I took this night auditor job. Debt piling up. A promise to pay it off, taking the overnight shift because it came with a bonus no one else wanted. We just need someone to cover nights, the manager said. Just follow the 8 rules. That was it. That's all it took. Back in the present, a soft dragging sound pulls me from the thought. I whip around. Something is at the far end of the hallway, not a person, not a shape I recognize. More like a shadow walking upright but lagging behind its own movements by a second. The wrongness of it prickles along my spine. It tilts its head. A voice, familiar, slips down the corridor in a warped echo. Help me, please, the same words from room 237. I stumble back, pulse spiking. And then I feel it. Cold air brushing my neck from behind. I whirl. Nothing is there, but the elevator doors slam shut on their own, trapping me out here, stranding me. A housekeeping sign hangs crooked on the nearest door. The same door number that has haunted me? 237. I flinch backward, but as I do, my elbow knocks the metal fire extinguisher cabinet, a loud crash that echoes like a gunshot. My breath freezes, because I just realized what I've done. I ran. Rule 5, never run. It hears running. The shadow at the far end lifts its head sharply, and then it starts coming toward me, fast. The shadow closes half the distance in a heartbeat. Its movements don't make sense, like each step is erased and redrawn, slightly wrong, slightly closer than it should be. The lights overhead flicker in a stuttering pattern as if trying to block out the sight of it. My legs lock. Running again would make everything worse. Rule 5. Never run. It hears running, so I force myself to walk, slow, steady, controlled, backward toward the corner where the hallway bends. The air around me vibrates with a low hum, almost electrical. My teeth ache. My skin prickles. The shadow thing quickens. For a moment I think it's going to reach me when suddenly it stops. No, not stops. It loses shape, like someone wiped a drawing off glass. A smear of blackness slithers upward into the ceiling tiles and disappears with a soft, wet hiss. My breathing goes sharp and ragged. I grip the wall to keep myself upright. Then I hear something new, a faint tapping, delicate, precise. Right behind me, I turn. Room 237's door, another one, in this hallway that should not exist, stands slightly open. A narrow strip of darkness spills out like smoke. The tapping continues. From somewhere inside, my hand shakes as I push the door open another inch. Inside is a room, but not a hotel room. It is wrong. Walls at unnatural angles, furniture arranged like it's melting into the carpet. A clock on the wall spinning backward, stopping at 2:14 a.m., then spinning again. And on the bed lies a body, or what used to be one, skin folded like paper, face sunken, mouth stretched wider than any scream could make it. Pinned to its chest as a laminated card edge is burned, he broke Rule 5. My blood runs cold. A whisper curls up from the corpse's throat, dry and brittle. Now it's your turn. The corpse's whisper hangs in the air like dust suspended in a sunbeam, except there's no sunlight here. Just the dim, twitching bulb overhead and the suffocating smell of damp, rotting cloth. I jerk back from the bed, knocking into a chair that wasn't behind me a second ago. It scrapes across the carpet with a jagged shriek. The room shudders. Yes, shudders like something beneath the floor just woke up. The walls ripple, a ripple like breath pushing through lungs. I stumble toward the door, pulse hammering, trying not to run, trying not to break the rule again. The corpse's laminated card flutters once as if something invisible brushed past it. Then the clock on the wall stops spinning. It lands on 3:33 a.m., the same cursed time. Everywhere, the door slams shut behind me before I can escape. The knob twists under invisible hands, locking me inside. A soft hiss fills the room, a sound like someone exhaling right into my ear. Then the body on the bed twitches, not a spasm, not decay shifting, a purposeful twitch. I flatten myself against the crooked wall as its limbs unfold in stiff, awful motions. Skin crackles like dry leaves. Bones bend in ways they should never bend. Its head snaps toward me, mouth still frozen in that too-wide gape. A voice layered, echoing wrong, seeps out. He let it out! Now you have. My throat dries. Let what out? The lights flicker off. For a heartbeat, the darkness is complete. Then something moves in it. Something not human, not the corpse. A dragging sound, a sliding, a scraping, close, too close. A cold fingertip traces the back of my neck from the dark. My breath catches in my chest as the voice behind me whispers, "It followed you." The lights snap on. The corpse is gone. The door clicks unlocked. Whatever escaped is no longer in the room. It's loose in the hotel. I stumble into the hallway, slamming the door behind me as if that paper-thin barrier could possibly stop what just crawled out of room 237's twisted reflection. The corridor is silent now. The lights hum weakly, flickering in a rhythmic pulse that feels almost biological, like the building has a heartbeat. I pull out the rule sheet again, hands trembling. Rule 1, announce yourself before entering A&Winnie hallway at night. Rule 2, do not speak to anyone you hear inside room 237. They are not alive. Rule 3, if you smell wet fabric, do not breathe in. Hold for 10 seconds. Rule 4, if the handle begins to turn, leave the hallway immediately. Rule 5, never run. It hears running. Rule 6, number 6, smudged, burned, destroyed. Rule 7, if you see someone who looks like you, don't let them speak first. Rule 8, leave the second floor by 4:10 a.m., or you won't leave at all. The sheet vibrates slightly in my grip, like static is crawling over the paper, or under it. A sound breaks the silence, not a footstep, a distant coughing, dry, repetitive, wrong, like a recording of a cough played backward. It echoes from somewhere around the bend. Then, another problem. A thick, damp smell creeps through the air. Rot? No. Wet towels, soaked fabric. Rule 3. I clamp my hand over my mouth and nose just as the odor strengthens. Tears prick my eyes. I count in my head. 1, 2, 3. The smell grows heavier, like something dripping down the walls. 4, 5, 6. A soft voice whispers behind me. You're breathing too loud. My lungs burn, begging for air. 9, 10. I gasp. Fresh air. The smell is gone, but the voice isn't. I turn. A man stands at the far end of the hall, half hidden in shadow. His posture is rigid, face pale, eyes wide as if he hasn't slept in years. His uniform is the same as mine. He lifts a shaking hand. Don't break any more rules, he warns. You don't know what wakes up when you do. Who are you? I whisper. He steps forward and the overhead lights flicker violently. In that strobe of light, his shadow doesn't match his body. It lags, twists, stretches too high. Rule 7 slams into my mind. If you see someone who looks like you, my stomach drops. The man opens his mouth. In his voice, my voice, echoes out. I warned you. He spoke first. A rule just broke itself, and something behind him is waking up. The thing wearing my voice tilts its head in a jagged, puppet-like motion. Its mouth hangs open wider than any jaw should stretch, as if the words, I warned you, rip something inside it. The hallway shivers, lights flickering to their lowest, sickliest glow. Then the copy of me begins to split. Not physically, its outline. Its edges flicker in and out of the world like a glitch in old videotape. Every time it blinks, its shape becomes less like a person and more like a smear of moving blackness. And behind it, something steps forward. Not human, not describable. A silhouette that bends the air around it like heat rising off asphalt, except it's cold. Freezing. Every breath I take crystallizes in front of my lips. My brain screams at me to run, but Rule 5 echoes in my skull. Never run, never run, never. The copy lunges. I dive sideways, not running, just throwing myself out of reach. My shoulder slams into the wall. Pain shoots down my arm. I scramble on hands and knees toward the stairwell door. The metal vibrates like something on the other side is pounding to be let out. But when I push it open, it's not stairs. It's another hallway, a different hallway, a wrong hallway. Same carpet pattern, same flickering lights, but stretched longer, spiraling downward like it's folding into itself. The hotel is shifting, or I am, or reality is. Rule 8 flashes through my mind. Leave the second floor by 4:10 a.m. Or you won't leave at all. I check the clock above the door. 3:59 a.m. Time is speeding up, or skipping, or looping. Behind me, the copy claws the floor with hands that are now more like jointed shadows. Its voice glitches between mine and dozens of others. Stay, stay, stay! I force myself into the impossible hallway. The moment my foot crosses the threshold, gravity tilts sharply. My stomach lurches. The world bends sideways. The hall stretches, elongates, swallowing the previous floor behind me. Somewhere between the walls, a low, hungry hum vibrates, like something massive is shifting between dimensions, like something is aware of me moving through its space. Halfway down the warped corridor, I see it. A door. Plain. Unmarked, except for a scorched metal plaque, 6 Rule 6, the smudged rule, the one no one is allowed to read, the one I might finally be able to uncover. I reach for the knob, and a hand shoots out from beneath the door to grab my wrist. The hand gripping my wrist is ice cold, skin stretched thin over bone. It squeezes hard enough that I feel tendons grind. I yank back on instinct, but it doesn't let go. A voice leaks from under the door, hoarse, trembling, and horribly human. Don't open it! Please, don't open it! That's how I got trapped. My pulse slams in my ears. Who are you? The door vibrates, rattling like something enormous is pushing against it from the other side. The hand withdraws just enough to slide fingers higher along my arm, as if trying to pull me down to its level. I was the night auditor before you, the voice whispers, cracked with years of dust and fear. I followed the rules, all of them, and still... A shaky breath. It wasn't enough. A chill shivers through my spine. The previous auditor, the one the manager never mentioned. What happened to you? I ask. The lights overhead dim to a sick yellow glow. The hallway tilts another few degrees like gravity is loosening its hold. A distant scraping echoes behind me, my doppelganger dragging itself closer. The voice beneath the door cracks. You broke 1 rule. I broke 6. The The door buckles inward. A deep thud shakes the frame, something hitting it from the other side. The hand tightens painfully. I thought Rule 6 was the key. I tried to read it. I tried to open the door. The voice trembles. But Rule 6 isn't a rule. It's a threshold. A horrible realization drills into me. Threshold. Not meant to be crossed. The person under the door continues, words tumbling in frantic desperation. It tests you. All of this floor, this time, this place. It isn't real. It's between. You're between. And it feeds on the ones who try to understand it. Feeds the building, the rules, the entity behind them. It took me, the voice gasps. It kept me. It changed me. Please listen. Don't do what I did. Don't. A violent crack splits the floorboards. A second hand shoots out of the darkness, this one deformed, knuckles swollen, fingers bent at wrong angles. It clamps onto the first hand and drags it back. The voice erupts in a scream that stabs through my skull, then cuts off mid-breath as if swallowed whole. Silence. The door handle twists, slowly, inviting me. Behind me, my other self whispers in my exact voice, "Go on, open it. You were chosen for this." The hallway lights die. And something begins moving inside room 6. Darkness swallows the hallway whole. Not normal darkness. This feels intentional, like something thick and alive has pulled a curtain over reality. I hear nothing at first, not even my own breathing. Then, a slow, dragging inhale from the direction of room 6. Not human, not close to human. I stagger backward, palm scraping the warped wall. The air vibrates with a low, guttural hum too deep for my ears, but my bones feel it. The floor stretches again, bending like hot taffy beneath my shoes. Something about the darkness changes. It brightens. No eyes. Dozens of faint, reflective eyes opening across the hall like tiny glass marbles, all staring at me. A voice curls through the dark, ancient, layered, hungry. They always come back. I freeze. My throat locks. Another voice joins it, higher, trembling, familiar, the previous auditor. Except now it's wrong, warped by something that is chewed through its humanity. "Don't follow the rules," it croaks. "Don't break them either. They're not protection. They're bait." The eyes blink in unison. My heartbeat hammers like a fist inside my chest. "Why me?" I whisper. Something shifts closer, massive, scraping the walls as it moves. A cold breeze rolls over me, carrying a scent like wet stone and mildew. The layered voice answers, "Because you believe rules keep you safe." A pause. This whole place, this second floor was engineered. A snare. The rules weren't meant to guide us through danger. They were meant to shape our fear, sharpen it, refine it. Each rule broken feeds whatever lives here. Time shivers. I look at my watch, 3:33 a.m. Again, always. Time isn't passing, it's looping, corralling me like prey. Then something steps into view. A figure, human-shaped, barely, bones too long, torso twisting in slow spirals, skin draped loosely, hanging like wet fabric. And the face, it's the previous auditor, or what's left of them. They extend a trembling hand, their fingers drip shadow. "You need to know," they whisper. "The smudged rule, Rule 6, it wasn't erased by accident." The many-eyed darkness shifts behind them, impatient. "What does it say?" I choke out. They lean close, voice cracking like breaking glass. "Rule 6 is the Owenly way out." A thunderous slam shakes the hallway. Something giant has forced itself fully into the space. And the previous auditor's ruined mouth forms one final warning. "Just don't follow it!" The hallway groans beneath me. Every surface quivers like the building is exhaling. My pulse is a hammer against my skull. Time isn't moving, or it's moving too fast. My watch flickers. 4:02 a.m., 4:27 a.m., 3:58 a.m., looping, skipping, collapsing into itself. The darkness behind me pulses, alive. Dozens of eyes blink in unison, following every twitch of my muscles. Shapes rise from the warped walls, half-formed, half-human, dragged between dimensions. Some resemble the previous auditor, others mimic me. They whisper in fractured echoes, "Break the rules! Break the rules! Break the rules!" My hands shake on the crumpled sheet of instructions. The rules aren't guiding me. They're a trap. The smudged Rule 6 is burning into my mind, the only way out, but every other rule screams at me. Breaking one could release more horrors. Breaking another might condemn me forever. The copy of me, the one that spoke first steps forward, voice layered, distorted. You know what must be done, but you also know what happens if you do. I stumble to the center of the hallway. All rules are being tested at once. Smells, lights, gravity, time, voices, all assaulting me. And above it all, a deep, resonant voice, the entity itself, booms from the shifting walls. Follow, break, obey, all or none, fear feeds me. The hallway stretches into impossible angles. The walls ripple with faces of failed auditors. The previous auditor stands to one side, fingers trembling, eyes wild. Rule 6. It is your only chance. But once you follow it, you won't be the same. My hands tighten on the sheet. I read the burned word faintly beneath the smudge. Trust. Trust the rule. Trust the entity. Trust myself. Behind me, the shapes surge, eyes glinting, limbs twisting, shadows pressing closer. Every heartbeat threatens to explode in my chest. My mind screams, choose wrong, die. Choose wrong, die. Time freezes, then leaps forward. 4:10 a.m., the deadline. The walls lean inward. The ceiling presses down. Reality warps like liquid metal. I have seconds. I make the choice. I push forward toward room 6, toward the smudge rule, toward the threshold I was warned about. My body moves, but my mind lingers a fraction behind, screaming at the consequences. The previous auditor whispers, you were set up. You were chosen. They always pick the one who thinks they can survive by rules alone. I open the door. The door swings inward, impossibly wide. Darkness spills out like liquid, thick enough to taste on my tongue. My lungs burn, my legs shake, but I step through anyway. Room 6 is not a room. It is a corridor of folded reality, walls bending, twisting, stretching into infinity. Shadows writhe along the floor like living ink. Every surface reflects me, but wrong. Eyes too many, mouths too wide, movements delayed. A hum vibrates through the air deep enough to rattle my bones. Then the entity steps forward, a towering silhouette stitched from blackness, limbs folding at impossible angles. Its head tilts slowly, and from its faceless void, a voice resonates. You followed the rules. You broke the rules. You feared the rules. You are mine. The shapes from the hallway surge forward, copies of me, the previous auditor, half-formed shadows, all merging, swirling into the entity. I can see the remnants of every auditor who failed. They are frozen, screaming silently, trapped inside it. Its hunger is endless, feeding on fear, on desperation, on the broken rules of those foolish enough to play. I clutch the crumpled rules sheet. My eyes fall on the faint trace of Rule 6 burned into the paper. Trust. Trust the rule. Trust myself. Trust the threshold. Part of me screams, it's a trap. You'll be consumed. Another part. The part that survived everything so far tells me it's the only way. I step forward. The entity recoils slightly as if it senses my understanding. The air thickens. Gravity warps. Time shivers. 4:10 a.m. The deadline looms, but the clock spins backward, then forward, then stalls. The whispers of the previous auditors flood my mind, warning and pleading, layering over the entity's roar. Trust the rule. Trust the rule. I speak aloud, voice steady despite the terror. I choose myself. The entity pauses. The shadows hesitate. The corridor trembles violently, edges of reality tearing. I feel my consciousness split, tethered to two places at once. I step fully across the threshold. The rules flare, the burned word glowing faintly in my vision. The entity shrieks, a sound like metal grinding against bone. Its mask collapses inward, sucked into a void that snaps shut behind me. Silence crashes over the space. My body trembles, but I am standing in the hotel lobby. The fluorescent lights flicker normally. The smell of wet fabric and rot is gone. I am alone, or almost. A folded sheet of paper lies on the front desk, identical to the one I carried. Rule 6 is still smudged. I realize the threshold didn't erase it. It didn't give me all the answers. It only let me survive, changed. I glance at the clock, 4:15 a.m. The hotel is quiet, too quiet, but I know the entity is not gone. Not completely. Somewhere in the folds of reality, it waits. I walk toward the exit. My hands still shake. My reflection in the glass shows someone older, someone who has faced fear and survived, but not unscathed. The hotel doors creak open, revealing the street, the cold pre-dawn air. Freedom? Perhaps. But the lingering thought gnaws at me. Room 237 will always exist. And the next night auditor will read the same rules, make the same choices, and the cycle will continue. I step into the city. Behind me, the hotel hums softly, lights flickering, watching, waiting. I survived, but I am not the same. And I know, somewhere deep inside, that what I escaped is still hungry, and always will be.